Welcome to the I Hate Critics movie review podcast. I'm professional film critic Sean Patrick. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Sean Patrick.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's slowly warming up again. It was freezing here. We got our first snow and it kind of sucked. So how are you?
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of the snow. I'm not a big fan of the cold either, which was fun for the last few days because there hasn't been any heat or hot water in my apartment for 3 days. So that was fun.
That
Fun
sucks.
couple of days.
I didn't turn my heat on because I looked at the weather and I was out of town last weekend for a show in Champaign, and I looked and I'm like, okay, it's gonna progressively get warmer as the week goes on. So if I turn my heat on, then by the end of the week I'll be boiling because my heat tends to not shut off because I'm where I'm located. And I was like, I think I'm not home that much this week, so I'll wear a sweater and sleep under my Texas chainsaw fleece blanket that's super, super warm. So, and it'll be 70 on Saturday. So who knows?
You can turn it right back. I can turn it right back off. I didn't want to use it, and well, frankly, I only needed it that one night that we didn't have it.
Oh no! That's an issue with your with the whole building, or was it just
Oh
you?
yeah, the whole building was down.
Oh.
So, yeah, fun stuff. But
I still slept with my my air conditioner on at my hotel on Saturday night when it got down to 30.
Yeah.
Overnight. I still slept with it on because I'm like that. I like a lot of blankets and I like it kind of chilly. So another reason I'm single, aside from my face and my body and my personality,
I always wonder how some of these couples actually do it when they have such, when they realize that they have such astonishing differences, like a person who needs a lot of noise while they sleep and a person who needs it perfectly quiet. Like, how are you not broken up by now?
Yeah. So I dated this dude, like, this is probably when I was in New York, so it was about 15 years ago, not 10, 15 years ago. And I have to have the TV on with my sleep timer going, like this weekend I had to have I had to have an audiobook going with the sleep timer on it because hotels they always had the direct TV or whatever, and you're not able to use the remote to turn the sleep timer on. Yeah. So I couldn't do that. I was like watching The Office or something. I'm like, I don't want to wake up at like 3 a.m. to have the TV going. So turned on my audiobook, but I was like, I thought about that. I'm like, what if I was dating somebody who who was like my ex, who had to have it completely quiet and completely black, no light, nothing. And I'm like, yeah, that I'm going to stay single because.
Yeah, I like to sleep with a podcast playing. Just any podcast will do pretty much. And the first 3 nights I was slept over at this woman's house that I was desperately in love with. I didn't sleep for 1 second, not 1 second, because she had to have it eerily quiet, and the quiet just unnerved me so much. I just laid there awake the whole night.
Well,
and yes, that relationship didn't work out.
Yeah. Why would you want it so quiet? Because then you'll hear somebody like sneaking around outside or whatever. If you've got The Office going or a movie, at least you're going to mask the sound of a break-in and you won't know that you're going to die.
Well, especially in an apartment building where you're like, you're going to have random noises. That's just going to happen no matter how good the silence is, which frankly, mine here is phenomenal. There's still noises, like you're still going to hear people honking horns in the middle of the night. And if you're listening to something, you can blend that right out of your mind. You don't even think about it. But yeah, no, this was a person who just desperately needed absolute silence to sleep. But now she's married to a snorer, so I don't understand how that's working out.
That's called fucking karma, bitch.
Make it make sense. So Predator Badlands was number 1 at the box office over the weekend, over $40 million. The box office is back again.
Oh Lord.
September was the single worst box office month in good 2 decades. Hollywood hadn't seen it this bad since the pandemic, which we don't necessarily count when it comes to historical records because there weren't theaters open.
Yeah.
So to say it was that bad, it was kind of that bad. People just were not going to the movies in September, but as we've talked about multiple times in this, Hollywood wasn't asking him to either. So
yeah, I mean, we have the cure for this, so
just do some advertising.
Advertise and stop putting movies in theaters and then 2 weeks later putting them on streaming.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah, like Roofman is already, Roofman's on streaming starting today. Kiss of the Spider Woman's on streaming today.
Well, I hope everybody watches that because that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I finally got my review done on that one. It took me a while to get my feelings together because it was a very emotional experience, and I finally got it out there and trying to encourage people to see it, trying to keep the conversation about Kiss of the Spider Woman going if it's possible, because without that, it's going to go away and it will not get any awards, and that's really sad.
Yeah. I had a conversation with somebody about that movie at work, and they were just ragging on J-Lo. I would never see this because she's in it and she sucks and she can't sing and she can't act. And I'm like, watch Kiss of the Spider Woman. I honestly, yes, Jennifer Lopez is like Madonna. She's not a great singer. She's not a great actor, but she is a good solid actor depending on what she's given. She's a solid singer depending on what she's given. Just like Madonna, I'm thinking Evita. It's the project that makes her, and this project 100% played to all her strengths. So
Jennifer Lopez is like is a lot like Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg, when somebody is giving him directions like a Scorsese or a Russell, they're giving him direction, he can act really, really well under very close supervision. And I think Bill Condon probably gave J-Lo plenty of attention to make sure he got exactly what he wanted. I think she has a great deal of natural talent, but I don't think without a good director to direct that talent and put it to the right place, it's just not going to go anywhere. She can't succeed without that support, and that she's just proven over and over again that when she works with a good director, like she worked with Soderbergh in Out of Sight, she was fantastic in that. Everybody loved her. Everybody thought she was a real actress.
Yeah.
But then she makes a bunch of shitty rom-coms and people realize, oh no, she's not an actress. This is just a really great director capable of getting something great from her.
Yeah, I mean, I think of that. I think it's Selena. I think she was. I thought she was really good in Selena, and I feel like she bought into the whole star thing, and then the whole J-Lo or Ben Benifer or whatever. And I think that's where you get into the stuff where she's just coasting. So, but this was a really, really good thing, and I hope everybody watches it on streaming. So,
absolutely, and also check out Roofman. Roofman was pretty good too.
That was really good. Right. That's one of the ones I recommend to my sister, and she doesn't really love movies. So.
Let's see. Anything else we want to mention before everybody's alive?
Sally Kirkland died today.
Oh.
Yeah, I literally just saw that.
I've seen the document. Well, it's not a documentary, it's a movie, but she plays herself in it called Sallywood, which was weird and interesting to say that. I can say that. Weird and interesting, but I don't know. They were pushing that one pretty hard for wide release, and it just hasn't happened. And now that she's passed, who knows? Maybe that attention will actually get that movie out there.
I hope so, because she was pretty interesting. She's known more for being a celebrity necessarily in her later years, but she was in the Sting. You know, that's I've actually got a postcard sitting on my desk right now that from the Sting. It's a John Amsel or Richard Amsel illustration from that. And I was like, wait a minute, that was Sally Kirkland. Kirkland. You know, she was really well cast and stuff because they knew, like, for people who knew how to cast her as you know, certain characters that she was really good at. But
In- incredibly self-aware. I mean, like I said, I've seen Sallywood, and it's an incredibly self-aware film. She knows what her place in Hollywood was and who she is and how people viewed her, and she's definitely setting that up, but at the same time also playing into it. And it's got a sweetness and a humor to it. It's so low budget, and her co-star is not great in it, that that kind of holds it back from being anything I could recommend, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I remember our grandma and I would watch talk shows and stuff, and she was always on talk shows as, you know, just the insider in Hollywood, and she would come in and talk about, you know, who did what in the 60s and 70s, and our grandma really loved watching her talk about that kind of stuff. But, you know, meanwhile, I was just like, oh, wait a minute, she was in this movie? Oh, cool. Let me go back and watch that. And yeah, I wanted to, you know, at least remark upon her passing, because she never got I think the credit that she really deserved, because she was doing so much schlock, and she would literally, like, there's the old adage that about Andy Warhol, that he would come to he would come to any opening, even the opening of an envelope. And Sally Kirkland would as well. And she incidentally played, she was in the movie Factory Girl as Edie Sedgwick's grandma, speaking of Andy Warhol. So that's kind of how I rediscovered her for a while. But yeah, so Sally Kirkland, rest in peace.
Indeed. All right, let's get on to our new movies this week. We're going to start with one that I saw that you haven't seen. It's called Christy, and it's notable because it's one of the biggest box office bombs in history. It has one of the lowest wide release openings of any film ever. I think it ranks 8th overall in terms of the lowest amount of gross per theater, which is shocking, because not because Sydney Sweeney is a big draw. I don't necessarily know that she has that many fans at the moment.
No,
but
people really dislike her.
I thought for sure maybe people would turn out for Christy Martin, if only, you know, if they know who she is. She is a trailblazer and an icon in women's sports, and this is a very true story about her, about the abuse that she endured for many years, about how she overcame that, and there's a scene in this movie that's as good as any sequence in any movie this year, in which she survives being murdered by her husband. Ben Foster plays the abusive husband. He stabs her, he shoots her twice, and she still manages to crawl her way out of the house and into the street to find someone to help her and take her to the hospital. It is a harrowing scene, and Sydney Sweeney is really great in it. She's great in the boxing scenes. She's completely unglamorous. There's no artifice to this performance. I thought she was fantastic. I thought she did a great job, and I was happy to see somebody paying tribute to someone like Christy Martin, because she pretty much was the reason there is women's boxing, which a lot of people don't even realize there's women's boxing right now. But nevertheless, there at a time in the 80s, women weren't allowed to box. She got her start literally in Foxy Boxing, which is those barroom events back in the day. Or strip clubs and bars would have nights where they'd let women fight with giant gloves, and they called it Foxy Boxing. and she started actually hurting people while she was doing it, and somebody said, you know what, she could actually fight. And that propelled her to become one of the very first women's boxers. She got in front of Don King and actually made her debut on pay-per-view on the same card as Mike Tyson. And from there, she became, for a time there in the early 90s, she was a big deal. She was breaking down barriers. She was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and uh, the whole time she was hiding the fact that she was gay and being in this abusive relationship with her trainer, who married her and controlled everything about her and abused her for many years. Her parents from West Virginia, especially her mother, who's played by Merritt Weaver, would not let her come out or admit who she was. And she had a girlfriend as young as like 17. Was the first time that she started to really see who she was, and her mother pushed her back into the closet as hard as possible via the various types of manipulations that only parents can do. Um, that lasted her entire life, to the point where even after he tries to kill her, her mom is still kind of, well, he's your husband though. And you just can't, like, Merritt Weaver is pretty amazing in delivering that moment, because you're just, how are you this person? Your daughter's nearly dead and you're going, well, he's your husband.
Merritt Weaver plays her mother.
Yes.
Uh,
What? What? She's really good.
I know, but she's like not even 40. Is she? No, she's okay. She's 45. How old is Sydney Sweeney? Like 35?
Well, it is West
know.
Virginia.
And Hollywood. Okay. Fair enough.
I found Merritt Weaver very convincing. Ethan Embry plays her dad in the movie, and that kind of shocked me because I couldn't even recognize him when I saw him, and it's like, wow, that's Ethan Embry. I can't even believe it. Uh, yeah, I really like this movie. And I know a lot of people, I know that's not a popular opinion because people hate Sydney Sweeney right now, and that's fine. I get it, but she was great in this, and people are missing out because this is a really good movie about a person who really deserves this kind of attention. And if, Sydney Sweeney is supposedly MAGA, I find that very hard to believe based off of this performance, because she's playing a woman who is literally a gay icon now, who's this, a speaker and a leader in women's sports. Um, uh, it just kind of, I just don't see how those two things can go. But then, again, there are a lot of people I can't understand how they can be MAGA, and like, I don't understand how you can balance who you are with being that.
I don't know that she is.
I don't think she's ever said it. I think everybody just took that American Eagle thing and just put the assumption on it. And
she's incredibly bad at publicity, like spin. You know what I mean? I think she didn't know all this stuff was going on because she's busy making a bunch of movies, and her publicist is probably her cousin or something, and that doesn't know very much either, because publishers should, come out and say, oh, hey, no, that's not what this was about. This wasn't a Nazi thing. I think people who are terminally online constantly do this stuff. I don't think she's MAGA. I don't think she's, like super right wing or anything like that. I think she's just not good at the publicity stuff where she has to talk about herself. That's just what that's my feeling on the whole thing, but I don't know. She's raised in a apparently MAGA household, so
who knows? I don't know. I just know that this is the second time this year that she's given a performance that fucking blew my mind, because she was amazing in Eden as well. I've not seen Americana. I don't know if Americana is any good, but I do know that both Eden and Christy are really good movies that are centered a lot on her performance and the strength of her performance. And I really wish more people had given this one a chance.
Yeah. I honestly, if I had known Merritt Weaver was in it, I might have seen that instead of Die My Love. I love Merritt Weaver. I don't know if you ever watched Nurse Jackie.
No, I've never.
She's incredible in that show, and she's just she's got this earnestness about her that in that show that I'd love to see this now that I know that she's in it. Sorry. Sorry, I picked the wrong movie, but
I mean, I don't think you picked the wrong, but I guess we'll get into that.
yeah.
Die My Love stars Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson as a couple. Early on in their relationship, they're moving into a home that was once owned by his uncle, who was passed away, and they're going to refurbish it and live there and raise their family there. Uh, it's a very it's a very sexual relationship. It's a very intimate relationship. It's a very intense relationship. And throughout, it only gets more and more intense as Jennifer Lawrence's character moves more and more towards mental illness and more obvious signs of being uh, very much depressed and very out of sorts. This is directed by Lynne Ramsey, who's one of the best directors working today. Her filmography is extraordinary, and I've loved everything that she did. She did a movie with Joaquin Phoenix not all that long ago. That this incredibly violent thriller. And that was one of the best movies of that year. And of course, no one went to see it. Nobody goes to see movies when Lynne Ramsey makes them for some reason, because they're always incredibly challenging. They're always gorgeous to look at, and they contain challenging themes and characters that are not easy to take. And this is a character played by Jennifer Lawrence, who is not easy to take. She's a very difficult person. She is a very troubled person, but she's also deeply, deeply real. And you can understand how she's getting to where she's getting, being left alone all day in this big empty house, days at a time, nothing to do. Her depression overtaking her, being uninspired for her work as a writer. She just doesn't have anything to focus on other than her son once she has her baby. And even then, like, she's trying her hardest and she's connected to the child, but it's just nothing else in her life. There's just nothing else there. And I can see where that would drive somebody insane if they didn't have, something else to do during the day. The beauty of this movie, it's just incredible looking. The cinematography is gorgeous. There's this beautiful blue light that they use on the night scenes, and then the daytime scenes are just lit up with these beautiful yellows and browns that are just absolutely gorgeous. This big, beautiful blue sky. Then you've got Sissy Spacek and Nick Nolte adding even more shades and layers to the drama. I loved this movie. I think this is one of the best of the year. I was just from minute one to minute last, I was riveted by this performance by Jennifer Lawrence, which I think is maybe the best of her career. And yeah, I can't recommend this enough.
Yeah, she was incredible in this movie. Even if I didn't love the movie all the way through. And I feel like one of the things that kind of holds it back for me is we didn't get to know her really before this descent into madness happens. And I would have liked to have seen maybe, a little bit of that before she started to really kind of go off the deep end. That was the only thing holding it back for me. Again, she's incredible. I love Sissy Spacek in this movie too. She's just so human and real, and she wants the best for everybody. And that just comes through on her face. Not even the stuff that she necessarily talks about or says. You just see how she's suffering, and but she's kind of putting her own suffering aside to try to help her son and his girlfriend, then wife. Um, I I was really I was struck with how Jennifer Lawrence just suddenly can turn on a dime the way she does, where you're not sure if she's going to use this knife to kill her baby and her husband, or if she's just walking around with it because it's fun. Or, what she wants to do. I think that Robert Pattinson, he's really good in it too, but I don't think his character was explored enough. Apparently in the book, because this is based on a book, and apparently you get a little more of his interior life, which kind of explains some stuff on his end that he doesn't get a chance to say in the movie. Would have liked to have seen that too. I really thought that, like you said, it's a beautiful movie. I do wish they had turned on the light once in a while. I thought for a while that maybe they were just too poor to have the lights on. I really wonder that. And then I'm like, oh no, she's brushing her teeth in the light. It's just a choice. Okay, I get it now. Um, yeah, I really did. I really did enjoy it after thinking about it for a little while. During it, I kept thinking, I don't know if I can watch her spiral this badly, because she
Uh,
does. She spirals really badly. Um, she also does the Hollywood thing though of looking gorgeous while she's going through a bunch of shit. When she's in the doctor's office, I'm like, her makeup is perfect. Why is her well, she's at a mental institution. Why is her makeup perfect? But that's, I mean, that's Hollywood for you. Um, I thought the performance by the baby too. I'm just kidding.
I really loved what Robert Pattinson brought to this. I think his entire performance is in support of her, and everything that he does informs the way she's playing her part. And they have incredible chemistry. Especially, I mean, the sexual chemistry is just off the chart. Those early scenes are very sexy and bold and different from most other sex scenes you see in movies. I find it again funny that people have to point out, like I've seen numerous people point out, well, oh, Jennifer Lawrence let herself get a little pudgy for this one. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about, you psychopath?
Huh?
What are you talking about? Literally, there are people who said that she let herself get a little pudgy for this role.
What are she has a body. She has just a female body.
No, it's fucking insane.
And okay. Now let's say, okay, say she said, you know what, I'm going to gain a few pounds because I just had a baby, and I'm going through postpartum depression on top of mental illness. So what? She's not here for your sexual gratification. She's here to show you the descent into madness that is overtaking this woman because she has previously had mental illness and she is suffering postpartum depression. What the fuck, people?
Mhm. To your
I
point
thought she,
about her, life before whatever happens in this movie, I don't think she ever really had a center. I think she was kind of defining herself by whoever was loving her in that moment. And we arrive, with her in this relationship that's going to be the one that is the most important one in her life, and how much she has placed most of her identity within being with him. And then his absence triggers what then begins her descent. And I that there's this kind of like an absence of an inner life that she portrays that is fascinating to me. I find it incredibly sad and beautiful to see that she doesn't feel like she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't really have an idea of what anything that she might want in the world. She seemingly has what anyone normally would want, which is a loving partner, a baby, a house, uh, things most people, a lot of people don't have those things. Like, so she has like this, certainly elements of the picture perfect, but she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't spend any time trying to figure it out. Mostly she's fighting that idea of trying to figure out who she is and what she wants. And that
yeah.
inner struggle coming out in her performance and just her acting out in the way that she does. She's like being a tiger, with a knife going, crawling through the weeds or whatever. She's constantly just exploring whatever boundary might be in front of her, and that's not a personality. That's not an inner life. That's not somebody who's spending any time, getting to know themselves. And it's fascinating to see an actress able to play that so beautifully and make it so sympathetic.
Yeah, I really I got that from her performance. That was my only thing. Is like when you just jump right in, and that was where I was a little jarred by it. So
Mhm.
yeah, but I got that. I got her. She's kind of rudderless And that does come through, especially towards the end. She does make a couple comments. Um, she tells that story about how when she was 3, some 10-year-old took her, and her parents didn't really even know she was really missing. So,
Yeah.
so I think that kind of that brought you up to speed on who she was, but
hardcore abandonment issues.
Yeah, but you don't know that until way at the end, and I was like, oh, okay, that does explain it. So I guess it's like getting to know somebody, that you figure out why they're fucked up, just like they find out why you're fucked up, right?
We have so many great movies this year. It's just kind of blowing my mind. When I looked at my list the other day, and I have 34 possible, like 34 reviews that are basically 4 or 5 stars.
Nice.
34 movies, which I don't think I've ever had that many before, ever. And I was looking back on this year, it's like, I was thinking about January, and we had Presents all the way back in January with Lucy Liu and Steven Soderbergh, and that movie's pretty much forgotten now, but that was incredible. There's been so many incredible movies this year.
Yeah, there really have. I was kind of going back a little bit and starting to write down some of my thoughts, because we are coming up on the end of the year already. And yeah, and right now there's the big thing on social media about everybody hates Weapons because it's, taking the shine away from Sinners somehow. And I'm just like, for fuck's sake, people, they're both good movies. 2 of my, like, literally in my top 2 favorites for the year. So, but if you like Weapons, and you must hate Sinners, and you must be a racist piece of shit. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Insert the "are you fucking kidding me" gif from Bridesmaids. So, yeah, we have really been eating this year, and I'm hoping that, we'll have a few good meals before the end of the year. Like,
People just need to like what you like, and don't be a dick.
Yeah, let people fucking enjoy things.
Uh-huh.
I had a lady, I said something about one of my favorite performances of the year was Amy Madigan in Weapons, in Weapons. And she was like, well, what about Haley Steinfeld? And I'm like, yeah, she's really good. But literally, if I'm picking that movie, she's maybe my 4th favorite. I'm talking about Weapons right now. If you would like to, would you like a bottle of ketchup so you can catch up to the conversation that I'm having? Didn't like that. So, but it's just like, you can like more than one thing at a time, and you can give everybody their due without taking anything away from anybody else. So,
yeah, that's weird. The social media is just so weird. I mean, the number of people who celebrated the fact that a Sydney Sweeney movie failed is kind of bizarre. Like, why do you care then? Why do you care if it failed? If you hate her so much, why do you hate her for so much? First of all, like, she's just not. You don't know her,
Yeah,
and you can't hate this movie if you didn't see it. I don't allow for that. I don't allow for people to hate a movie they haven't seen. Unless it's Ayn Rand or something, or if it's maybe if it's a Pureflix movie, now I'll push that to the side. But like this movie, though, that movie's Christy, like or Our Time I Love for that matter, which also didn't do great at the box office over the weekend. You're not allowed to hate these movies and say you hate these movies unless you've actually seen them.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh, I had my boomer moment during Die My Love yesterday.
How's that?
Well, first of all, it was God, we have assigned seating. Why do you sit next to somebody that's... I was the first person to buy a ticket yesterday, right? And I bought it like 11 o'clock for a 12 o'clock show. There was nobody in the theater. I'm like, oh, that's not a good sign. I get to the theater, C8, because I can't see because I need new glasses. And I go to my seat, C8, there's a lady sitting in C9.
Are you kidding me?
Her friend is in C10. So luckily C7 was not taken, so I sat there.
Mm-hmm.
She fucking talked the whole first half hour of the movie. And I just kept looking at her like, are you fucking kidding me? What is your problem? And she just like completely oblivious, had no idea. So I got up. I actually had to go to the bathroom. I got up and went to the bathroom, and I came back, and she's just like blah 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 blah. I picked up my stuff, and I started to grab my jacket and whatever. She goes, "It's not that bad a movie." I'm like, "I know, you're just really loud." And I went and sat in the row in front of me. I again, people need to be called out, especially
absolutely, absolutely. And people who say that it's teenagers that are the problem, you're an idiot. You're more. It's boomers. Boomers are the issue.
And again,
they're the ones who, every experience I have, it's always boomers being assholes.
And I thought it was funny because you were like, "Oh God, you run into a lot of these people at the movies." And then the next week we went to see Eleanor the Great together, and and I was like, I just looked at you like, okay.
And who was it?
Boomers.
Fucking boomers.
I still love what I said to them. Hi. I'm not sure if you're aware that there are a bunch of other people in this theater that don't want to listen to you. Thanks.
No, it was beautiful.
Yeah. I always say I know how I'm going to die, and it's going to be saying the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. Not going to be cancer or diabetes or heart failure. It's going to be that.
What better way to go?
Exactly.
All right.
Somebody they only what for. Let's talk about a movie that people did go see.
Yes, I just highly recommend Die My Love. Go see it. It's not going to be in theaters very long because nobody went to see it on opening weekend.
It'll be at the Oscars though.
Hopefully.
I think she'll get a nomination for it for sure. He might even get one.
But it's hard to say. It's hard to say anymore what's gonna get there and what's not.
I'm sure that Elle Fanning will get one for Predator Badlands.
Predator Badlands is the newest film in the Predator franchise from director Dan Trachtenberg, who was so successful with Prey in 2022. He's now once again reinvented the Predator, this time taking us into the perspective of a member of the Yautja tribe, or from the planet Yautja. I don't know what it is. Deck is a runt predator who has to prove himself in a hunt, but his father just wants to kill him because he's too small and weak. His brother, Quay, doesn't allow their father to kill him, but in the process, Quay is killed by their father, and that does send Deck off on his mission to go claim the biggest, nastiest monster in the universe on this planet called Genna. There, it's everything on the planet is there to kill you, whether it's the trees that have vines that'll choke you to death, or razor grass, which is one of my favorite inventions in a sci-fi movie in a long, long time. He ends up, he crashes on the planet, so his ship is messed up, and he doesn't have many of his tools, and he needs a new tool, and that's where he meets Thea, played by Elle Fanning, who's a synth who is missing the bottom half of her. Her legs are gone, so she offers to help him if he'll help her get her legs back, and that's the pact that they make. And she convinces him because he's a predator. He hunts alone. He's got a code and all that. But she says, "Hey, I'm a synth. I'm a robot. I'm a tool for you, not a companion." And that's enough to convince him to take her along. They eventually also get a pet, a little monster with like metal skin that can actually help it get through the razor grass and help them reach their goal. There's also another character played by Elle Fanning. It's a synth hunter that is out there to claim the same prize, and also sees the predator as a potential catch as well. So multiple dangers and multiple stories at play here, and it's all pretty good for a PG-13 Predator movie, which I was really skeptical about. I appreciated how good this one was, especially the scenes of the Predator getting ready for the final scene. I love when they're putting together traps and building weapons from what's available. That's fun. Like there was a great scene in the original with Schwarzenegger's improvised stuff, his weapons in that film. A big part of that was big part of the fun of that film. And I think it's a big part of the fun here. Does the movie need some more R-rated stuff? Maybe, but it's good enough to get by. I'm not mad at it. This is not, as I'd feared, the Disneyfication of the Predator. Although I didn't expect him to have a joke in the movie. That was weird.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'll let it slide for now because I did have a good enough time watching this.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, actually. I was a little skeptical myself. I did not even think about it being PG-13 before I went in. Although then I very, very right up to the moment that I saw it, I realized that it was Dan Trachtenberg and that he had done Prey, which was one of the best Predator movies out there. And he did the Killer of Killers anthology movie, which I watched the first part of it, but it was one of those, let's put this on as we're going to sleep. And then I got rid of Hulu, so I haven't seen it all the way through.
I've never seen it.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, this could be interesting. And I went in blind. I didn't know what it was about. I knew that Elle Fanning was in it from the trailer. But I didn't know that he was, the runt of the litter, or, his father had tried to kill him or anything like that. So I was pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed this. It did have its funny moments. I thought Elle Fanning was good as the comic relief, and as Tia, and the badass as Tessa. I thought she played both of those really well. So I was glad it was her and not her fucking bitch of a sister Dakota. I'm just kidding. Although it would have been interesting to see her as one and Elle as the other. That would have been kind of cool. No, I was pleasantly surprised, and I loved the razor grass myself. I thought that was kind of cool. How do you get over that? How do you go hunt this cassock or whatever they're hunting, the MacGuffin?
Yes.
I thought that there, a little twist on that later on in the movie, I thought was kind of cool. And the thought that the last shot where he's like, he kills his father and he's like, all right. And then who's that? It's my mother. Like, she's even worse. I just thought that was really good, and well handled. I haven't seen a Predator movie in the theater since one of the Alien versus Predator. No, or the Predator, that kind of fucking weird one.
Yeah.
Which wasn't bad, but it was also like, I completely forget about it every time I'm talking about Predator movies. I don't even remember it because
I thought it was bad.
So forgettable. But this was it was fun, and I liked, having a one of the Predators as the protagonist for a change. I thought that was interesting. When I kind of figured out how that was going to go, I was like, I don't know about that, but I think Dan Trachtenberg really understands the Predator mythos and worlds and how to do that. So
I was concerned about the demystification of the Predator, and there is an aspect too of here we are again taking an alien species and giving it all of the qualities that Hollywood has assigned to the noble Native American savage, and it's like, oh boy, that's oh god. I think they tiptoe around that as best they can, but it's still there. But that's fine. I guess I'm not the one who's being offended by that. I guess.
Yeah,
I have no right to be. It's not affecting me, but I'm sure others are watching that, going, "Oh yeah, that trope again."
My thing is, you are not allowed to be more offended than the people that the offense should be offended by. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially like liberal white people.
Mm-hmm.
If a person of color says, I'm not offended, then you don't get to get all like up on your liberal high horse. And I say that as a liberal, and be offended on their behalf because they're just looking at you going, girl, shut up.
No, but I mean, I would merely agree with them if they were, if a Native American was offended by this particular trope, I would understand, because it is, we're going to see it all over again in the next Avatar. So,
oh Lord, I'm just
if anybody's been guilty of that
shit,
keeps
going.
Cameron is very guilty of that bullshit.
Yeah. I'm just generally offended that we have to sit through another fucking Avatar movie after that last.
Honestly, there's a big part of me that just wants to boycott it. There's a big part of me, but it's going to be the biggest thing that weekend, and we are a movie podcast.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do TV that weekend. Hey, we're going to talk about the John Borowski miniseries about John Wayne Gacy. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if Dan Trachtenberg can become the Kevin Feige of Predator movies. I'm all for it. And we did, the thing about the Predator movies is they are kind of all so, like all the in jokes and the little nods to other movies and other franchises, and this is definitely, it is an Alien versus Predator universe more so than just a Predator universe.
Yeah, like the brand of synth is the same as the Alien franchise.
Yeah, Weyland-Yutani. That building better worlds.
A little Easter egg there. I think I prefer the Predator movies to any of the Alien movies, honestly. I've not been a big fan of any of the Alien movies. I'll say it. Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
We did a big rewatch. We did a huge Alien podcast with myself and Bob and Josh. Josh is one of the biggest Aliens fans in the world, and I came away kind of going, interesting. I think part of it is the fandom has ruined that movie. Before I ever got a chance to really see Alien, the fandom had already ruined it for me. I'd already seen Spaceballs, and I'd already seen jokes on The Simpsons and all this, and so nothing in Alien felt new to me when I first got to see it, because I didn't get to see it right away as a kid. And by the time I saw it, I've been told so much what a badass Sigourney Weaver is, and then she's really not. She's really not that much of a badass. Like, she's really not. I've seen other movies where female characters have a lot more agency and a lot more to do. So I'm not sure when that was kind of ruined for me. I'm kind of like, well, what am I interested in here?
Yeah.
I know that's blasphemous to a lot of people, but
because to me, the premise of Alien boils down to nobody listens to the smart woman and they all die.
Mm-hmm.
Except the cat. So.
And I think also it didn't help that I saw Alien 3 before I saw any of the other Alien movies. The first one I saw. Totally like this. Yeah. I was like, this kind of sucks. Why does everybody like this?
If we could Eternal Sunshine you to go see that, like see them in order, I think you might have a little bit of a different take on them. But yeah, and especially if you saw the Alien 3 that was released to theaters before you got to see the assembly cut, yeah, that explains a whole lot. So, but
the Predator movies, they've it's fascinating because only one of them, like the Predator a few years ago, I think is a genuinely bad movie. I liked Predator 2. The reason why we actually got Alien versus Predator at all is simply because somebody thought it would be cute to take an alien skull and put it on the Predator ship.
Yep.
And when Danny Glover is searching the ship, he sees that giant alien head. That's Predator 2. That's the reason why that came about. And then, of course, the success of the comic book led to those two terrible Alien versus Predator movies, which those are bad. Those are bad. But those are bad because they chose the wrong director. Paul W.S. Anderson is a hack. He's always been a hack. He'll always be a hack. And he's never made a good movie. And he made two terrible movies. out of Alien versus Predator, which should have been a layup. This should have been a layup, but no. It should have been as good as Freddy versus Jason, which Freddy versus Jason should have sucked, and it didn't. People don't know what to do with it. Well, yeah, I've liked all of the Predator movies. I did laugh at first when Josh said on the show that he thinks Predator is the greatest action movie of all time. That is a landmark moment on the show where Josh put his he stuck his neck out there and said, "This is the best action movie ever made." And then Bob and I both said Die Hard, and he was like, "Well, yeah, but." And it was fun. It was a fun show.
I think it is possibly the best sci-fi action movie.
If you want to split hairs, I think there's still other options that are. I think Predator's great, and watching it again this week, which is our classic, is the original Predator. Predator Badlands is quite good, and we both recommend it. Predator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, is a meme. It's a meme as a movie.
So many memes in this movie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger leads a group of special soldiers into the jungle under a false premise, as Carl Weathers of the CIA is lying to him about taking out some people to try and stop a Russian invasion of South America. That's supposed to be why they're there, but that's not why they're there. And then they end up all being hunted by the Predator, almost by sheer coincidence. And everybody dies painfully and bloody, and it's totally cool. These are some of the coolest movie deaths in history. With a Predator hunting these guys down and killing them the way he does, it's awesome. There's no other way to put it. John McTiernan, director of Die Hard, of course, and the man knows how to do action.
Yes.
He also knows how to do prison time, but that's another story. But nevertheless, he also directed Rollerball, so nobody's perfect. But this is a great movie, and Schwarzenegger versus the Predator is a terrific showdown, because one of the things that Arnold struggled with in his time as an action star and trying to trend, it's the same thing kind of The Rock goes through, is that he's so huge that trying to make him in any way an underdog, like Commando, you've got to send like 10 guys at him to make him appear to be the underdog, as opposed to the guy who can just beat everybody up. Or just shoot everybody with one gun. Like Stallone has got the size to where he can be the underdog in a fight. You could put him out there against like Dolph Lundgren in Rocky IV, and Lundgren's much larger than him, and he's automatically the underdog. It makes sense. Carl Weathers is just his size. It makes sense. But Schwarzenegger, put him in a one-on-one fight with a guy, and you're like, why isn't Schwarzenegger just crushing his head? He's so massive. And like The Rock has had that same problem throughout his career of just being so much bigger than everybody else. You can't buy him in a one-on-one fight. But they did a great job in Predator of giving him obviously a foe that was so much bigger and smarter and had every advantage, and you could finally root for Arnold Schwarzenegger as the underdog, as somebody who is definitely in a lot of danger and has a lot to overcome, and that really goes a long way to making that final act very successful.
Yeah, this is, to me, the absolute pinnacle of Schwarzenegger for me. Like every meme, they get to the choppa, the ridiculous. Oh my, it's you see it as a painted meme of Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger's arms like clasping hands, and they're doing a mid-air arm wrestling. And you see that meme and you always forget that it's from this. And John McTiernan goes out of his way to have a shot with them suddenly, like they're clasping hands and they're gonna arm wrestle in midair with no leverage, and
spirits rolled up, muscles rippling.
It's strictly just to see how big their muscles are. Like, I'm sure he printed this out and just went home and just masturbated ferociously to it. It's so like homoerotic almost, just the way they're sweaty and bulgy and veiny, and yeah, it's wow. Um, but yeah, I think this is really his absolute like pinnacle of his career. Um, just the action star that he was, even more so than T2 for me.
Mhm.
Um, the the way that he figures everything out, and you see him figuring it out, and he actually it comes across on his face, as
Mhm.
opposed to him saying, "I am figuring it out now," like he does in some of the other movies that he's been in. Um, I really just I I I can watch this movie probably all the time, like in the
Mhm.
background. Um, the cast, Shane Black is in it, who's like went on to become a huge screenwriter, and I just I love this movie, and Josh is almost right. It is one of the best action movies out there. I still, I'm not gonna say it's the best sci-fi action movie in my opinion.
Mhm.
I just there's nothing wrong with this movie for me. No, I take that. There's one thing wrong with it: the female almost love interest.
Alpedia Korea.
Yes. Well, just the fact that they have to do it because of the studio. They have to put a woman in there who's in danger, and it this could have been like First Blood with aliens. You know what I mean? It was just, but it yeah, I that was the only like I'm like she doesn't have any reason to be here. She's just tied up most of the movie, and then she disappears for the other half, and then she's at the end. Oh well, you know maybe they're gonna hook up, and but yeah, I perfect movie, so many memes. I found myself like all day today at work. I'd go to the choppa.
And yeah, speaking of memes, this movie trends every few years when a new generation finds it, because
Yeah,
it is a meme. Like
yeah,
the thing that happened earlier this year with people discovering that the end credits of Predator match up perfectly with any sitcom theme song.
yes, yes.
And
And it
it's
is the
true.
most ridiculous like end credit scene in the world ever, where they're all just like doing that 80s, 90s
I
sitcom
don't think I've had a
smile.
bigger laugh this year than seeing somebody put the Predator theme to the Full House, put the
Yep.
Predator credits to the Full House theme. That was just fucking genius, and it
Yeah,
lines up, it lines up better than the Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd.
this is true. This is true. Yeah, I adore every part of this movie. I think Kevin Peter Hall, rest in peace, was perfect as the Predator. He's got that physicality.
Mhm.
Um, so big. The design of the Predator is just fucking amazing. Like it's so,
Terrifying on first sight.
I yeah, I remember, when the movie came out, and that was huge. That like this is something that we've never seen before. This is something that it's so hard to imagine a creature like this. And it was completely groundbreaking when it came out. Um, I it's hard to like if you are just experiencing it on video after you've seen, you know, Predator Badlands or whatever, and that design, and how absolutely menacing and terrifying it was when he took that mask off. Um, and how Freudian it could get for some people. Um, yeah, it really there's very, 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 very little to knock about this as an action movie. Um, as almost at times like a very broad comedy with some of the line deliveries,
Mhm.
and these macho guys who are just getting taken out like they're matchsticks. Um, and Carl
There's-
Weathers' death
ah,
scene is so good. He gets his fucking arm blown off, and he's still gonna go. So
Yeah, no, I do love that. And for a time in my young life, after the first time I saw Predator, there was nothing more terrifying than those three little dots appearing on
Uh-huh.
somebody's chest, and it's like, oh shit, that's it. You're dead. There's nothing you can do now. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
you're in the sights of John Wick. It's over. You've lost already.
Yeah, I really I I think I had this. I actually found this on videotape not too long ago. A VHS copy of this movie and Predator 2 at a garage sale for $1 a piece. So if anybody
Yeah.
wants to buy them from me, I'll entertain offers. Um,
John Wick versus Predator, by the way, is my idea. If it's copyrighted, so if you guys are going to do that, you got to come to me first for
yep,
John Wick versus Predator. Because
absolutely.
I came up with that idea.
You got to pay Sean and this show
That's right.
a lot.
For these properties that I don't own.
Well, still, it's an idea. Okay, it's an idea.
Yeah, Predator's awesome. It's available everywhere as always.
Yeah. One of
Must
the best.
must see.
Oh, hey, remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about Tron and I told you that Hasbro had the HasLab and it had less than
Yeah.
1,000 backers with like 36 days to go? It has 13 days ago. It has 13 days ago. Guess how many it has now?
Fully funded.
Wrong, white man. Checkmate. 1,143 backers. This is never getting made, thank God. I looked at that yesterday. I'm like, I got to bring that up again on the show. We talked about that and what a bad idea that was. Yep.
But where are they with their Predator toys?
No, they're not making any. NECA is the one that makes Predator toys.
Oh, okay.
And they make some really nice ones. I would like to get the Predator from the first movie after watching the scan. I'm like, you know what? That's one I don't have. But they have a lot of Predator toys at NECA. And the thing I like about NECA,
go ahead.
The thing I like about NECA is they will re-release stuff, unless it's a limited, and they say it's very limited edition, like the Pamela Voorhees action figure that they said they're gonna make one batch and then they're done. But I did get that, which I love it so much.
I gotta say, I was disappointed with the Predator popcorn bucket. The ship, I don't think the ship is nearly as iconic as the helmet. You need to make the popcorn bucket out of the Predator helmet.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy the ship.
Agree. Ooh.
That's right. I took a stand. Not good enough, Predator. Not good enough. There is no popcorn bucket for The Running Man, surprisingly enough. That'll be one of the big movies coming up this weekend, starring Glenn Powell and directed by Edgar Wright, and of course based off of the film, or based off the book by Stephen King, but also the film that Arnold Schwarzenegger starred in. It's a big time for Arnold Schwarzenegger movies without Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Running Man is going to be huge this weekend. And Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which does have its own popcorn bucket, and it makes the popcorn disappear.
Ooh, I thought you did that.
So that's coming this weekend. And where Osgood Perkins finds the time, I have no idea. But his movie Keeper is coming out this weekend as well. This will be his third movie in like 18 months. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actors do that all the time, but like a director, you don't see a director direct this, like 2 movies in a year is rare for any director, let alone 3.
Well, and it's not like they're sequels that are filmed back to back either.
Yeah.
Or at the same time, it's
3 wholly original ideas.
I love the trailer, the first trailer for that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
When they're talking about he's a keeper.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in seeing that. I have never seen a Now You See Me movie.
I've seen them all. I liked them all. I know it's not a popular opinion. People kind of see it as it's like the Big Bang Theory of movies, but I've actually enjoyed all of the Now You See Me movies. I thought they were fun. They're very silly, and I enjoy silly sometimes.
Isn't it the
You gotta
Kevin
have
Spacey of it all?
you gotta have a little joy in your life, you know? It can't all be dystopian sci-fi futures. Sometimes you just need a little magic.
We need a little magic.
All right, Jeff. Anything else you want to mention?
We are, yeah, we're just a little less than a month away from, well, a week and a half. I'll be at Days of the Dead in Chicago. So if you're in the area and you're a listener, come and see me. Say hi. I'll give you a sticker. Then a couple weeks after that, in the Quad City area, we're going to have the Quad City Toy Show that I'll be a part of, and so far, they've announced a couple of guests. One of them is his name is like on the tip of my tongue. He's the guy who plays C-3PO now when Anthony Daniels doesn't. Anthony Daniels still does the voice, but this actor does the body and the physicality, as well as a bunch of other characters on Star
Daniels
Wars.
is like in his 80s now, so he's
Yeah,
not going to be putting on the C-3PO suit anymore.
Right. And then we're gonna Zach Galligan from Gremlins will be here.
So, wow. Ask him all of your Gremlins 3 questions.
Yeah, I mean they're making a Gremlins 3, and I'm assuming that he would be in it. But
what do you think? What do you think is going to be more like the original Gremlins, or more in the vein of the wackiness of Gremlins 2?
I don't know. We were talking about that at work today because I have a coworker who is Gremlins is his favorite movie, and he was like he loves Gremlins 2 also. And I told him that Zach Galligan was going to be here. He's like, no way. What? Oh, he was freaking out. And then then we started talking about that, and we got told, get back to work. And then he would come around the corner and talk to me some more. And I asked him, I said, what do you want to see in Gremlins 3? He goes, I don't know, because anything I can think of, if I think of it too much, I'd be disappointed. So I just want it to be, whatever they want to do. And he was just really, really looking forward to it. And his enthusiasm was kind of like made me think, what could they do at this point? So
I'm not sure. I was never a big Gremlins fan. I found the Gremlins to be gross mostly. They're just so slimy, and I'm just not a big fan of slimy creatures, I guess.
And I didn't some of the women you date.
I didn't think Gizmo was cute. I know a lot of people think Gizmo is adorable. I never did, and I didn't enjoy Gremlins 2 like at all, basically.
Oh wow!
Aside from like Hulk Hogan, that part, the meta thing where the Gremlins turn off or they break the film in the middle, and Hulk Hogan has to yell at them to get it turned back on.
Of course, you would like that.
I enjoyed that, but I really enjoy the Key and Peele sketch, which just is one of the greatest pieces of sketch comedy in history, where Peele is playing a guy who's pitching Gremlins 2, and literally everything, all these insane things that he's pitching are things that are actually in the movie. If you've never seen that bit, you've got to find it. It's on YouTube, and it is absolutely hysterical. He's a movie fixer, and they bring him into the scene to fix Gremlins 2, and he just starts pitching the most insane ideas, and all of them are actually in the movie.
Well, that we got a kind of an unofficial cameo by a character mentioned in Gremlins, right? And this year?
No, what?
Do you remember a little movie called Beetlejuice?
Unfortunately.
Okay, so the scene where Catherine O'Hara is on the couch in the waiting room, sitting next to her, you'll see a Santa Claus, a desiccated Santa Claus with soot all over him. That's supposed to be Kate's dad, who she tells the horrible story about hating Christmas because her dad climbed down the chimney and got stuck and died and fell and broke his neck or something. And that's supposed to be her dad. So unofficially, there's like a Beetle or a Gremlins 2.5 or 1.5 or 0.5. I don't know. But he's been there since 1971, apparently. So
if they make Gremlins 3 anything like Beetlejuice, we're all in trouble.
Oh, I hope not. I really hope not.
Beetlejuice sucked. It sucked so bad.
Huge fan of Beetlejuice, so having to see that, that probably will definitely be on my worst of for the year.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Have a good night.